You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. I'm taking your calls, your reactions to our new Obama law and apparently the new way that we're going to do business in Washington because the Republicans are not doing anything about it. I apologize to JP in Minnesota. I was going to have him make some more comments. I kind of cut him off and started going to this USA Today article. Let me continue on with that. We were unable to get a hold of him, but it was the editorial board of USA Today that said Obama's wrong way to do the right thing, in their view. I don't think it was the right thing to do. I think we've tried this before. I think that the Simpson-Mazzoli Act that was passed in 1986 merely incentivized more illegal immigration. This is already incentivizing more illegal immigration. But this is what they said. They said, this is the editorial board of USA Today, different from most of the mainstream media, and they say his plan amounts to executive order overreach. Yes, absolutely. By taking such broad action through executive order, USA Today's editorial board says Obama has set a precedent for future presidents. As hard as it might be for Democrats to believe, someday there will be a Republican president, as I mentioned earlier. Think about the many times that Ronald Reagan sent a bill to the House, and he said they pronounced it dead on arrival. Should he have just said, well, I've sent this thing over to Tip O'Neill 15 times. It's been 6 months, and he hasn't signed it, so I'm just going to go around Congress. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to sign an executive order. I'm going to rule by fiat. That's essentially the argument that Obama has put in. They point out more than a dozen times earlier in his presidency, actually Rand Paul said it was 22 times, according to his count, he told those who were pushing for such an order that he couldn't possibly sign one. He went before La Raza, the racist Hispanic group, and said, believe me, the idea of doing things on my own is very tempting, I promise you. Not just on immigration reform. Yeah, that's right. It's not going to stop there. But that's not how our system works, said Obama. That's not how our democracy functions, says Obama. That's not how our Constitution is written. And they go on to say that going forward, if Democrats want to have their way on immigration issues, they should win more congressional elections. Well, evidently they don't need to, because they can just bypass Congress and do whatever they want to with somebody in the White House who has their agenda. Let's go to Truth Raider in Oregon. Truth Raider, your comments.
Good afternoon, Mr. David. Good to talk to you again. How are you doing today?
Good to talk to you. What did you want to say about immigration?
Let me put this in a nutshell, David. The Truth Raider only goes by facts and figures that I can prove. This has been planned a long time ago in their agenda. This goes back to the Council of Churches, the Jesuit order. It goes through all the corporations, and this is what's going on. Those people in power in those positions are very upset with the traditional American people who worked all their lives, been successful and made money in this country and have built this country, have gotten fed up, and they're leaving the sinking ship. What's going on is they're panicking. Be it the Federal Reserve System is the heart of it.
Yeah, I think we need to audit the Fed. I think that's a very clear point, and I think that is at the heart of it, is the Federal Reserve System. It's very interesting that our fiat currency, one of the things that really holds that up has been the petrodollar. And that's essentially was put in place at the same time they took us off of a gold standard. But now we see that Russia and China are trading settlements in yen, and that has gone up 800% in just a year. This is a story out of RT, and they said that Putin has come out and said that ruble-yen settlements will cut energy sales in U.S. dollars. In other words, it's a way to move America down out of the lifestyle that has been supported by our fiat currency that doesn't have anything essentially backing it. Once they switch, as they point out, settlements in domestic currencies in those countries, they can largely contribute to balancing the global economy by reducing the impact of the dollar. In other words, by reducing your purchasing power if you're an American. That's one of the many ways that we are going to suffer under these economic policies. And of course, this massive immigration move is one way to take down our country economically. It's going to mean that we are never going to get away from crushing unfunded liabilities. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with more of your calls. 877-789-ALEX.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
With your friends.
KLN, Los Angeles. Clone Radio. We play the songs that sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Clone.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Welcome back to The Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight in Austin, taking your calls. And just before the top of the hour, we had a caller who called in talking about impeachment. I went to this editorial board from USA Today saying that Obama has done the right thing the wrong way. I don't think he did the right thing, but he certainly did it the wrong way. They said what he has done amounts to executive overreach. And as Rand Paul has pointed out, 22 times Obama said he did not have the power to just bypass Congress. Here's one of the times that he actually said it at La Raza, the group that has made the race the basis for immigration policy, doing things to favor the Hispanic race. Here's what he told them.
Believe me, the idea of doing things on my own is very tempting. I promise you, not just on immigration reform. But that's not how our system works. That's not how our democracy functions. That's not how our Constitution is written.
There you go. And he says it's very tempting on a number of things. And of course, he's already signaled that on a number of things, on something that is also going to have major transformational effects on our country in terms of climate change regulation. And that's essentially going to be cap and trade. It's going to be shutting down energy plants. It's going to be a massive restructuring, I would say a gutting of our economy. He says he's going to move along with that regardless of what the Congress does, regardless of their new majority. He doesn't think they can stop him. I don't think they will. Let's go back to JP in Minnesota. You want to make a comment about impeachment because, of course, Pat Buchanan says what Obama has done is an impeachable offense, but we shouldn't impeach him. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, I was just listening to Obola there. It just makes me want to puke. But, hey, thanks for coming back to me, David. You know, I was talking about impeachment, and Buchanan says that we shouldn't do it because enough people don't support it. And that might be true, but that's only because the whole topic has been censored in the media. There's been no discussion of impeachment, and there absolutely needs to be. But, you know, you listen to all our talking heads, even the supposed conservative ones, and they all say the same thing. They all say They'll mention the word impeachment and just say we're not even going there.
Yes.
It's like that. You listen to Rush, Hannity, all of them.
Yes.
It's like they're parroting a talking point. We should ask that mad.
Well, and the mainstream conservative political pundits are essentially giving them cover. They've gone home on vacation. They knew this was coming. They didn't come up with a plan for it. All they did when they came back after the election was pass the Keystone Pipeline for the 9th time. Then they head home, and then the talking heads in the media basically give them cover. Buchanan had a very harsh assessment and factual assessment of what Obama has done. It says it's impeachable, but let's not impeach him. Then you have the Weekly Standard come out and say, you know what we need to do? We just need to vote to censure him. That doesn't mean anything. And then many of them just say, no, just give him a pass. We're not going to do anything. I mean, you've got some politicians, some of the GOP at the lower level who are talking tough, but even if they make a movement to do impeachment, they're not going to be supported by the GOP leadership. And so that brings up a question. What do you think, JP? I think that when you allow a crime to occur, I think you become an accessory to that crime when you help to cover it up and to give the criminal protection. Do you believe that?
I do, and you know, but the thing is, politically, if we take action now and try and reverse what he's done, that's going to be really bad for the Republicans. But you know, I'm far more concerned about the dangers of Obama overstepping his bounds and what that can lead to. That's far more dangerous than the threat that the illegals here pose to us. So I say we welcome him, all the illegals, based on, you know, we just accept what this president has done and we move on with it. We welcome them. We quit talking about deporting them and we start talking about deporting Ebola.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I think that's the key. It's far more important what happens to this country. It's far more important the legal precedents that are being set in our Constitution. That is far more important than the GOP's little political careers. And if they cared about this country more than they care about their political careers, they would do the right thing. And what they do when they say that they're not going to, it's the right thing to impeach him, but we're not going to do it because the voters will be angry with us in the next election. What they're essentially saying is that they have no character. They have no leadership ability. They're simply political whores who want to stay in office forever and collect all the cash and benefits. And that's what the GOP is really about. Let's take a quick look. Thank you, JP in Minnesota. Let's take a quick look again at the changing rules for illegal immigrants, as reported by the Washington Examiner. The new Department of Homeland Security rules under policies for the apprehension, detention, and removal of undocumented immigrants says that they're not really concerned about people that are committing offenses like drunk drivers or sex abusers or drug dealers or gun offenders. Anybody that's doing that, that's not really a top priority for them to deport. And they point out in this article that an illegal immigrant could spend up to 1 year in prison for a violent crime and still not be a top removal priority for the Obama administration. They don't even want to deport criminals. Of course, it's a criminal action to violate our immigration policies. But we can't deport them for that, but we can't even deport them for violent crime, for sex abuse, for drunk driving. Nothing gets them out of here. John Bound had a report about someone who was murdered in Oregon by a guy who repeatedly had contact with the authorities and repeatedly was given a pass to stay in this country. Here's that report.
A convenience store confrontation ended in tragedy after a man suspected of being in the country illegally approached and stabbed a college football player to death. Police in McMinnville, Oregon, are still baffled as to why 33-year-old Juventino Bermudez Arenas attacked 20-year-old Linfield College student Parker Moore after entering a 7-Eleven convenience store last Saturday night. Police, however, say when Bermudez Arenas went back to the store, he allegedly refused orders to drop a knife in his possession, prompting police to open fire on him, killing him dead. Bermudez Arenas' family is also puzzled as to why he might have carried out the violent attack, as he reportedly did not have mental health issues, used drugs or drink, and was not involved in gang activity. Yesterday, investigators revealed Bermudez Arenas was likely living in the U.S. illegally, though he'd worked in the country since at least the year 2000. During a previous run-in with the law, he had given police a variation of his name, Juanantino Bermudez. Police say there is no connection between Moore and his assailant and that the attack appeared to be random. Moore was a college student majoring in business management. He was also a resident advisor